Hi, what's up, y'all? This is Coach Jay. Welcome to the Champions Pedigree. This is episode number 1 of the Champions Pedigree podcast. And this is going to be something that we're going to do starting today called Mental Toughness Mondays. It'll be long form videos. I'll tell you, man, I got so many stories just about life, athletics, but we'll also be doing interviews for people that have played D1 sports, coach D1 sports, referee D1 sports. Some have gone on to play and coach and referee professionally as well. So we'll jump into this on Mondays. But I got to start off with the most important thing about mental toughness. If this is your first time here, I'm Coach Jay. And again, welcome to the Champions Pedigree. Now, the most important thing about mental toughness is this. Are you ready? It's called objective reality. Objective reality. Long story short, that's a very fancy way of saying the truth, the cold hard truth. What is the truth? No chaser, just give it to me straight. And I'll tell you why that's so important at the end of what I'm getting ready to tell you. So I'm going to start at the beginning, not like when I was born or anything like that, but when I first started to play sports competitively, I was about 8 years old, and was not very good. I was not very coordinated. We played on a team, and we lost every game. It was all of our first year playing basketball, and it was a rough year. We were just out there having fun, but there was a switch, right? Like we used to play at church camp all the time. We would play around the neighborhood all the time, but this was different. And parents put me in a league, and man, it was tough. And I made one shot. I made one shot. This is basketball. I don't know if I said that or not, but this is basketball, and I made one shot on the last game. I got the ball, and I was so nervous. Closed my eyes and just threw it up. The ball went into the basket, and I jumped for joy, but the ball went into the other team's basket. And of course, I'm 8 years old. Like I'm just happy the ball went in the basket, right? But so it was long, man. It was tough. I was, like I said, I was uncoordinated. I didn't have the confidence on the court. I remember this very vividly, being young and the game just moving so fast. And they would pass me the ball. It always hit me in the face. I couldn't get my hands up quick enough. There was a turnover whenever I tried to dribble. I mean, it was a long road. It was tough, and it was like this for the next couple of years. And so I went on to play on some AAU teams, and we traveled the country. But I was a bench rider. I ain't gonna sit up here in front to you. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I was, just this all-star kid and had scouts at a young, that just wasn't happening. And so, I mean, if you can picture, I'm scrawny. I either had to wear my glasses or I wore goggles. And I mean, if I got in the game, it was at the end of the game. When you get in the game, those garbage minutes, when the game has already been determined who's going to win, who's going to lose. And so they clear the bench and let the people who don't normally get playing time. That's when I got on the floor, right? Most of the time, my jersey was not drenched. It wasn't sweating. I mean, I wasn't sweating. I just would sit there and I'd watch the game, but I remember being really frustrated about. I wish I was better, right? I wish I got more playing time. I wish I could like do this and do that, and um, man, it would eat up at me. So this is many moons ago. I start growing physically, and I hit a growth spurt, but I'm a little bit better. I start to practice a little bit more, and I'm a little bit better. So getting one shot a game it went up to like maybe 3 or 4 shots a game. And if I had to give an average, maybe 4 or 5 points a game, right? And so this is right around fifth or sixth grade. Start to kind of make some strides, right? Because the gap was I was always here, and everybody else was here. Like all of the teams that we played against, my friends, my classmates, everybody was here. And so I worked really, really hard. Um, I worked really, really hard, and uh, seemed like with just a little bit of change, a little bit um, of results that I was able to see. But something happened, so I wrote some notes down just so I wouldn't, so that I won't ramble or anything like that. But I mean, like I said, no playing time, and it was frustrating because one of my best friends was like the best player on the team, and of course, there's people would laugh and make fun and all that, and that was just part of kids growing up, right? But um, and this is AAU ball. This is in Dallas Fort Worth in the um, 90s, right? So, and when I got to the seventh grade, my dad started a team. And at that point, I thought I was going to get all the playing time in the world. I thought I was going to get all the shots in the world. I thought that I was going to be able to earn and wear number 23. And I thought that I was, I was just going to be that guy on the team until it was before our first practice. And he sat me down and he said, son, um, so let me back up. At this point, we knew who was going to be on the team. There were some guys that I went to school with. There were some other neighborhood guys went to the rival junior high. We said we're going to come together. We're going to make our team, and so that's what we did. So we were getting ready to go to the first practice, and I'm pumped because I know I'm going to be starting. I'm going to be that guy. And Pops, we was coach then. I had to learn how to call him coach. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But he said, son, you're not going to start. And I said, why? And he said, because you're not that good. That's what objective reality is. And it was the truth. Most of the guys that we had recruited to play with us were great athletes. They were great ball players. They were great teammates, and they wanted to play for my dad. And but when he said that, it confirmed what I knew. I knew I knew I had to do something. I had to put more work in, right? Just to get the playing time, just to get the minutes. Now, at this point, I'm a little taller. I'm a little better. My skills had risen just a tad. So I wasn't the scrawny kid that I was back when I was younger, but also wasn't the best player on the team, right? Wasn't the best player on the court. And so when he said that, I was like, you know what? Thank you for saying that. And it ignited something in me. It ignited, I got to put the work in. There are no handouts. And this guy drove me to practice. this dude, was the team dad. He was the coach. He was all that, and I would be right there with him. We'd be coming up trying to draw up plays and think about defensive schemes, and man, I'd be right there putting the work in with him as well. But nothing was going to be given to me. And because I knew nothing was going to be given to me, that I had to earn everything, it made me work that much harder. So it's I'm going to leave it right here for part one of the most important thing about mental toughness. But just to give you a recap, the most important thing about mental toughness before you can get anything else, before you can get any type of mindset, tool set, skill set that I'm going to be teaching you, you have to understand and accept what is the objective reality. What is the truth? Take your feelings out of it. Detach your emotions from it. What is the truth? And it takes someone that loves you dearly. It takes someone that respects you to give you that, but you have to be open to receive it. And then it's up to you with what you do with it. This is part one of the Champions Pedigree video podcast. I'm Coach Jay, and I can't wait to share so much more with you. But above that, I cannot wait to hear all of your successes and be able to celebrate them with you. Till next time, I'm Coach Jay, and this is the Champions Pedigree.